Morning, friends. Dustin here. You're watching the Life of Lynn channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And well, it's our 77 Winnebago Chieftain that we rescued from the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. And I've only started it one time since I got it home. Honestly, had a bunch of projects that I had to finish up. Those are, pretty much dialed in. Now it's time to get back on this thing. I have yet to even plug this in. Haven't cracked a propane tank. Haven't opened a water line. Nothing. If you guys haven't seen the episode where we drove 400 miles in this thing after it's sat for over 20 years, go check that out. I'm going to post that up, up in the corners. Maybe in the link in the description, all that stuff. Also, subscribe, like, do the YouTube algorithm, clicky click things. Please. All right, so we're going to get back on this thing. I need to get it running. We need to get it running well, because we were definitely down a cylinder that entire 400 miles. We're probably down 2 or 3 cylinders when we started. All the fresh fuel and additives that I poured down the neck of this thing kind of cleaned it up and got it going. And for everybody that's like, you guys didn't even change the oil. Wait, listen, we topped everything off. It got fresh fluids. We did check all the fluids before we left. Let's get that big block going. Let's see what cylinder's down. Try to figure that out. Do a little tune-up. Maybe pull the valve covers. Let's check valve lash, that sort of thing. Change the filters, change the fluids, the oils, all those stuff. Let's get it running good. And then we got to explore this entire thing. Let's plug it in. It has a lot of stuff in it. And I need to see if that stuff works. Do we got a furnace? Do we got an air conditioner? Well, they're physically present, yes. Does any of that stuff work? I have no idea. So come with me today. Got the battery hooked up. Hopefully that's still good. Look, I still got all my stuff for my road trip in here. Smells okay. Smells not bad, honestly. Does smell like 1980s carpet. But other than that, it doesn't smell like moldy or anything. I did double check the roof seals. Everything looks good up there. Touched up the lap sealant before I parked it outside. No leaks. Looks good, although it's been pretty dry. But we did have one little rainstorm here last month, and not a drop got in here. Pretty excited about that. Let's see if this thing runs. All right to life. Perfect. We got oil pressure. The fuel gauge is working nowadays, and yes, it is basically out of fuel again. We're not running on all cylinders yet. Oil pressure's building. We're gaining cylinders. All right, she's idling. I'm gonna pull this thing slightly in the shop because I have 4 campers in there right now, so I can't pull it all the way in, but at least enough so I can crawl under the engine section here and, not have to lay in the dirt for once. That'll be nice. I do gotta say, even though it's been dry and windy, it's been kind of warm for December. Been enjoying it, getting a lot more work done. Can keep the shop at least warm enough with a little torpedo heater to work out here. Gotta get to the recycling yard. It's getting thick over here. All right, we got our 440 exposed here. Got the old doghouse off. Well, it looks like it did before, I think. A little leaky, but it's all there. So I do have one of these in the toolbox. This is a infrared thermometer. You can kind of point it at stuff and pull the trigger. It tells you how warm it is. 56 degrees. 70, 67 there. Okay. So the idea is, down there on the exhaust manifolds, we should be able to see where every cylinder comes out. Now these manifolds are pretty close, and they all run down one chamber, so I don't have like long tubes to be able to figure out the exact temperature, but it should see a slight temperature difference if a cylinder is not firing fully. So we're gonna go ahead and fire it up, run that thing down both sides, and see if we can find like a dead hole temperature wise. Chrysler starters. Oh, they're so good. They're all pretty good. 163, 165. This one's a little cold there. You want to make note of that. 179. Yeah, see, this one's hitting 180 already. 167. 183. So we do have a colder cylinder over there. Let's start checking this side. Ooh, a little harder to get over here. We got a chair in the way for one. 196 on that back cylinder. 140. That's quite a bit lower there. 170s there. We're in 200s there. I think that's a dead hole for sure. Front cylinder's already up at 250. That one's nice and hot. Now, a lot of my problem is I can't get this tool down around here very well. 226, 203, 280. Okay, that's a huge difference. See, that 200 degrees is probably just heat soaked from the other part of the manifold next to it. Right here, it's in the 270s range. So right there, we're in the 220s. I think that's a dead hole. $270, $280, $270. Okay, this side seems pretty good. So I think the third cylinder back on the passenger side here is a dead hole, and I kind of thought that on our trip. That's why we snuck this one wire in there, thinking that we were going to fix it, but nothing really changed. So we might have other stuff going on. Let's pull that plug out. We'll ground it out and see if we got good spark to it. All right, we got that plug out and hooked up to a wire laying on a chunk of metal. So let's see if we got sparky spark. Not the loud hole. I don't see any sparks, guys. We definitely have compression on that cylinder, so that's good. I didn't see a single spark on that thing. Let's hit it one more time just to be sure in the shadow. Nada. All right. Well, there's our dead cylinder. Hopefully this is it. This will be a nice, easy fix up, and then we'll just jump to maintenance and then figure out the interior. I decided on the old screwdriver test, just to be sure here. Got just a nice little gap there. Let's see what happens now. Oh, we got a little spark there. Now, it's a possibility this little guy just got gummed up and never could fire. Well, another thing, guys, since, we're all right here working on it, let's disconnect the ignition and we'll do a little compression test, just to make sure. That way we got the numbers, Let's crank on it. $90. I don't know what this motor's rated for. I'll have to look it up, but it is only 7-to-1 compression, so 90 psi might be right. Most engines I like seeing 140, but yeah, maybe that's all right. I'll look that up, and we'll get back to this, and might be pulling some valve covers off here, because twice in my life I've bought a motorhome that had a stuck lifter, and when I went to crank on it, bent the push rod so that the valves didn't open or close right. So that does happen, and typically in motorhomes because they sit so much. So we might have that going on here, but let me look that up. We'll figure this all out. She's gonna be running good here soon. Well, just finishing up on some maintenance. Did the oil change and filter and everything, but got a problem. Yep, that's right. The windy plains have struck again. I got tumbleweeds blowing in, and fine sugar sand is whipping around the corner, creating a little tornado here and blowing in underneath the motorhome. Unfortunately, it's, not quite fitting because I'm doing too many projects at once. Now, if I was a normal guy with normal car projects, I could fit 4 cars in here and take them apart, right? But, I got a camper there, a brewery, camper, boat, basically 2 campers, and this motorhome. and unfortunately, I can't get it in between these two. Bad planning on my half. So I'm not going to crack open the valve covers today because that sugar sand will blow right in there, and that stuff will mess an engine up. So you got to keep things sealed out here when the wind's blowing this stuff around. It's bad. Okay, so we're going to put everything back together here. I cleaned up that one spark plug. Let's put it in and see if it works good. If so, we're going to back this thing out for the day, and then we're going to plug it in and start looking at the interior stuff. Besides, I needed to get a couple more parts for my tune-up anyway. I forgot that this cap was leaking like crazy on our trip, and needs to be replaced, so I ordered a new one of those. And I forgot that we had the wrong spark plug, so I went ahead and ordered the right spark plugs for it as well, so we can get this tune-up dialed in. There's literally dirt in my mouth. Fine little sand particulate on all the tools. It's getting worse. The wind's coming up real bad, so I'm gonna button this thing up and fill her up with some 1540 Rotella and back it out of here. Let's go take it for a test drive, see if we fixed anything. At least I'll feel a little bit better about it. Then we'll go find a power cord. Oh, that sounds super healthy. I might have just had a gummed up plug this whole time. Sounds good. Oil pressure? I mean, it's got some. Oh gosh dang it, it's windy out here. Holy smokes. Ow, come back door. Phew, guys. You know, I got the pretty skies out here because I can see, but there ain't nothing stopping the wind. That's okay. It only blows really hard in the fall, and then again in the wintertime, and then in the spring, and then most of summer. But you know, there's a couple days in there that are just real pleasant. Now, being so windy, not a good day to be doing a test rip. You ought to slow down the big fans, you know, making it breezy. I forgot how good this thing actually drove. Yeah, it's a little squeaky. Come on, it's 1977. It's made out of cardboard boxes and toothpicks. Brakes still work good? All right. Let's smash the throttle, see what happens. Oh, open up the vacuum secondaries. Listen to them. There's second gear. There's 35 miles an hour. There's 40. There's 45. There's 48. There's 50. Oh my gosh, she's really zinging now. It's super smooth. I think we got that cylinder back. This is the best it's ever run. There's 60. 65. Oh, she's absolutely ripping. Okay, cool. Feels really good. Transmission shifting great. I got no engine vibration now. I think we solved our issue. Honestly, I think we just had a really gummed up cylinder there. It's all nice and clean now. I even just checked the fuel filters while I was underneath it, and the fuel filters are crystal clear. Don't really have any debris in there. So apparently the tank that we ended up putting clean fuel in was the auxiliary tank. And that tank must have never been used because it was immaculate on the inside. It's perfect. This is great. Well, it's been a few days. The holidays have passed. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone out there. And the wind finally died down for a day. But we got a cold front coming in. It's going to be, 7 degrees and windy again. Maybe snow. Still hasn't happened. Real dry out here. Well, first things first is I believe the generator is wired to the house battery. And we only have the engine side or chassis battery hooked up. Because, we only want to buy one of these things. They're not cheap nowadays. Now it looks like a pretty simple setup. They use the same negative. So you just maybe tickle this positive on there. Yeah. What if I just wedge it underneath that one? That seems like a good contact. All right. Okay, well, maybe we'll actually hook it up, but, this thing doesn't give you a lot of room. If you hold it up, it's not bad, but these little hold downs, probably the worst ones I've ever seen. Well, give me a second here. I'll get a clamp, and doesn't look like anything's on them because I ain't got no sparky. Or the battery's shot, one or the other. Let me get that hooked up, and then we'll go to the generator to see what's going on with that. All right, we're over on the generator side here. Looks like we got a big Onan. Like, this thing is not light. Whole lot of cast iron in this bad boy. What do we got here? It's a 120 volt, single phase, 60 hertz, 1800 RPM. So this is like a 4,000 watt. That is not very many watts considering the size of this thing. Looks like maybe a twin cylinder, or is it just a single? It's hard to say. Nope, it is a twin. There's a coil in the back, 2 plug wires going off. So it looks like it's kind of a boxer motor setup. It is air cooled, so that's good. The only fluid we really need to check is the oil, which is down here. I do have some wiring disconnected, so that's a little concerning. I'm just gonna check the oil real quick, and then we're gonna hit the starter just to see if it even turns over. If it does, then we'll take this fuel line off, because that's probably going to the bad tank that is full of varnish that almost ruined the engine. So we want to disconnect this. I'll put in this jug of fresh gas over here, see what happens. Doing a first start on something that hasn't run in, well, I'm assuming as long as the gas engine up front hasn't run, or longer. It's been 20 years. Let's see, do not overfill. That's right in the middle between empty and full. And we have some black goo in there. And since this thing hasn't started in so long, doing it on a day when it's only 23 degrees outside isn't ideal, but the weather's supposed to be getting colder. So 23 is better than 7. So we're just gonna give it a shot. Non-functioning on this model. Why do you even put a switch there? You take the time to make a nice plaque that says this doesn't do anything. Oh. Lies. Look. Our pump works. Okay, well, I don't want to suck up a bunch of that fuel. Let's hit the starter just to make sure it works. Yep, we do have a good starter. Cool. Let's take this line off, dip it in some fresh fuel, see if we can get this old girl to bark off. All right, fuel line, just come off there. Come on, just no. Why won't you go? All right, found some fuel line. Got her dipped in the good fuel here. You know, 91, no ethanol in it, little stabilizer. So that's the stuff I run on everything that sits around out here. Let's see if this non-functioning button functions for the prime function. That checks out. Well, listen to that little guy. I have no idea if it's actually picking anything up. Probably should crack this fitting on this side and let it bleed so we can see if it's loading the carb. But it is making noise, so I'm gonna go with maybe. Let's hit the starter, see what happens. I need to get the oil circulated a little bit in there anyway. We'll run the starter for a minute. I think those are okay noises. There's a little slap noise in there that I don't like, but let's see what happens. Whew, it is straight chilly out here, guys. You gotta wear the gloves sometimes, but it's hard to, use tools when that is the case. Got the line off. Let's see if we can prime this thing. Some dirt dancing in there. There we go. All right, got my little squirter guy here. Not entirely sure what's in it. WD-40, maybe a little bit of gasoline. Either way, it was fuel-like. And I went ahead and primed the pump. Shot a bunch of it back in there until it started overflowing. Made a slight mess. So we're going to go ahead and try to prime it again. Oh, we got a little fuel leak. Well, that sounds promising. I think we got fuel there. That hose is going to have to be replaced for sure. We'll just clean up our mess for now. Weird, it's like these 50-year-old fuel lines are corroded and falling apart for some reason. Don't understand why. All right, let's try the start button, see what happens. Oh, I heard a cylinder. Oh, we got major fuel leaks though. We'll just wipe that up, that's fine. That's good. Means we got fuel all the way to the carb. And ignition, we even got spark, that's great. Start. Little smoke at the exhaust. I saw it. There's some right there. It wants to. Well, guys, I'm going to need two hands for this. I want to be able to operate the carburetor a little bit. So, let's see what happens. Everything's looking like this thing's going to fire. We do have a bit of a fuel mess, but look at this thing. Come on! We got smoke in the pipes! When I said something. Well, good news is the oil pressure might be coming up from all the cranking. But the starter is probably going to be very unhappy. Well, guys, it looks like at least the engine side is going to be usable. We are getting some puffs out of it, but as you can see, I'm starting to get a lot of fuel dripping out of places, even under the generator side, which we really don't want a bunch of gasoline in a thing that shoots sparks. That seems like that would be real bad. So I'm going to pause on this. We're going to have to replace this line. I don't have anything at the house to go to this fitting. If it was some kind of barb or something, we could probably get away with it. But we cannot. Plus, I got to get back here to the backside of this carb. And if I'm going to do that, I might as well clean the carb and do all the things I should be doing. But I just wanted to see some life into that. So that's a good sign. So we're going to pause on that for a minute. Let's go ahead and just hook the power cord up to a actual running generator and see what works on the interior. And we'll come back to this once I have the proper replacement line here. And hopefully she'll fire off and actually make juice. Look, Ma, this one's got wheels. All right. Picked this guy up this summer. Dual fuel champion, 4,500 watt inverter. Super quiet, super efficient. It's cold out here. You're gonna have to need the choke. Maybe not. Okay, I lied. It didn't need the choke at all. Propane, I tell you. Good stuff. We'll let it warm up for a second here, then we'll plug in our 30 amp cord from the old Winnebago. Well, just ignore the electrical tape on there. I'm sure that's fine. Look for smoke. That's always the first step. Not seeing any smoke. That's good. Let's go to our breaker box down here, see what's on. Looks like everything's on. We even got a light for our charge sentinel. It means we're charging our battery right now. That's great. This dog, I tell you. Dog, what are you doing? Can you sit? Good boy. Yes, good boy. Let's start with the easy stuff. Lights. Just, how does it work? Ah! Beautimous, we got a light there. See a light here? Fan? No lights, no fan there. Okay, it's all right. Good start. How about some overheads? I think there's switches over here. What do these do? Oh, there's a light. There's a light. I got a porch light on this thing? Holy smokes. We got a porch light. We got overhead lights. Oh, those all work. Oh, look at that. Light switches down by the beds. That's smart. Fantastic. All right. How about some reading lights? We'd like to read. Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay, that's all looking good. What about back here? Do we have the weird bunny thing? Does that work? Oh, look at that. It do. Fantastic. Not a lot of light back here, just one overhead. Oh, is there a switch for that one too? Where is that? Oh, look at that. Light switch is like a house. This thing is awesome. Shower. Oh, there we go. Check out the shower in this thing. It is huge with a full tub. That thing's like 2 feet deep. I kid you not. It's plenty of room. I do have a furnace down here. It is a pilot light model, so we got to figure that out. It's an oldie, but hopefully it still functions. So far, everything seems to be working pretty good. Let's look at our control center over here. Holding tank, 0. All right, holding tank 2. Oh, I was thinking about it. Water level. All right, there we go. Water level 0. You just gotta hold the switches just right. Or that one not at all. Okay, those do work. Pump? I heard the water pump. Really hope there's no water in this thing. I mean, after 20 years, you wouldn't think there would be. Like, all the valves were left open, so it was probably all drained out. Okay, I did hear a water pump. That's great news. It says pump when it's on. Well, let's try the furnace blower motor. Let's see what happens when we kick the furnace on to 90. Maybe the pilot has to be lit for the blower to come on. Well, we'll click that off. We'll investigate that and try to get that lit. You know, it's wintertime. Oh, we have a heat option. Elect-to-heat. Okay. Let's crank it up to warm. And then air for heat. And then turn on heat. Oh, I heard the generator. She bogged. Oh, there's some dirt in there. It smells like hot furnace that hasn't been running in a while, but it is actually putting out warm air. Okay, electric heat actually works. That's impressive. Let's, wintertime stuff. Let's crank her over to the cold side. See if we got a compressor. Maximum cool. It is actually too cold out for the compressor to kick on because the thermostat is not triggering it because, it's only 35 degrees in here. Huh. Cool, though. Well, the rooftop AC has heat. As long as the compressor is not seized, I don't know why I wouldn't have air conditioning as well. So that's all pretty good. This old style just has a grid heater next to the blower motor. It's not a reverse the compressor or anything type air conditioner. So not very efficient, very loud. They don't make a lot of heat, but in the spring or fall, that'll do ya. That thing sounds pretty healthy. So far, everything's working. I got water pump, I got the air conditioner, overhead heater, 90% of the lights work. I got to get the furnace fired. But that's about all the systems this old thing has, It's pretty simple. Lights, water pump, furnace, and air conditioner. That's about it. I'm pretty happy with how this is all going. Oh, wait. I forgot the roof vent up here. Had some tape on it. I sealed the roof on the top of this vent, but I forgot to pull the tape off. Let's see if the fan works. Is it a clicky? Is it a twist? Is it a push? Oh, it's a push. It works. No, I really haven't gone through this rig much since I got it home. Other than it being a little dusty, it's really clean and in quite good shape. Like, everything's real nice. There's no roof leaks or anything in here. Haven't really gone through it. And look at all the storage in here. What's this? I found a thing. What is it? Oh, yes. Is that a fly rod in here? Please tell me this is a fly rod. Hold on, I need 2 hands. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at nice fly rod in there. Very good shape. I'm excited. I'm going to use that for sure. Well, surprise! Oh, what's the surprise back here? Charcoal. Oh, we got some charcoal. We're going to have a little grill in action. A little trash can. Some RV toilet paper. And some septic clean chemicals. Right on. Found some extras with it. What's this? What's back here? Oh, it's a little dusty. I think there might be a slight leak from the underside. Oh, is this a reel? No way. Look at that. Vintage fly reel in the box. Wow. It's a Shakespeare automatic, number 1822. How cool is that? I mean, that alone was worth the $500 purchase of the giant motorhome. That's actually pretty nice. Awesome. I thought we went through everything when we picked this thing up, but maybe we didn't. Got a free pan. Some SOS pads. No sign of mice whatsoever in here, which has been fantastic. Oh, there's the tops to our stove. Cool. Eric found all the original documentation and everything that went with it. And look, here's all the camping silverware. All wrapped up. She's basically ready to go. You know, take her to the lake. Even got food storage bags. I just remembered food. Refrigerator. Now, does the refrigerator work? Electric. It's electric. Boogie woogie woogie woogie. Oh, there it goes. Maximum cold. Maybe let's go look at the backside of this fridge and see if it's on fire. You know, nice on the inside. Very classic aesthetic. Always want to clean the back of your fridges off. Oh. Well, electric's been disconnected for some reason or another, so we should probably investigate the refrigerator before we plug that one in. Obviously, there's a lot of dirt in it, as you can see here. So, we should probably clean it out. Make sure we're not going to see what that's... You don't want a bunch of dirt. Unfortunately, the backside of the refrigerators are vented. Then it'll be a roof vent to relieve the heat off of these units. These things are horrible, by the way. I hate these fridges with a passion, but it is convenient to cool your food with propane while you're driving down the road. Unfortunately, that's how most of these burnt down, and all the modern ones, oddly enough. Even brand new ones are still burning down because of the gas absorption refrigerators in these things. Are scary, and they light on fire and explode sometimes. So, you know, be cautious of that. We'll just shut her off for now. We'll come back to this after we go through it and make sure it's all clean and ready to go. This dog's made himself home. Easy on the avocado cushions, man. Those don't have any rips or tears. That's vintage. Well, guys, I'm liking what I see here. This thing needs a good deep cleaning. I'll take everything out. Go ahead and vacuum it up, scrub it down. Carpet's real disgusting. I would vote to remove that, but it's got such a vintage color. It really fits the theme in here, so maybe we'll just hit up the old steam cleaner and knock it out. So far, the electrical's working. No blown circuits, nothing weird. It didn't catch on fire. Almost all the lights work. The fridge buttons seem to work. You know, we're gonna have to clean that thing out and hook it up and do some testing to make sure that it's actually solid, because like I said, those will burn down your unit in a hurry. And we're gonna dive into this furnace here and see why that's not working. Guys, I'm trying to get this rig cleaned up and ready for use. Yeah, that's right. We're not just gonna park this thing in the back row like we have with some of the older ones that were in much, much worse condition. This thing is way too nice. So we will be kind of restoring this thing, but a lot of this is in good enough shape where it just needs to be cleaned up. So we're going to restore it back to its original, which is essentially the way it is now. Just make sure everything's functioning like it should. If we do have to update anything, we will. I do plan on adding solar, take our dependence away from the generator a little bit. That way you can run on 12 volt a little bit longer. And also, we're going to finish the engine and transmission tune-up on this thing and get that thing running really good. But it is on all 8 cylinders now. It is ripping quite well. We do have some things we got to do, and I do have a plan for this thing to make it way more fuel efficient and kind of bring it into the modern era. Talking about fuel injection, guys, and I think this would be a great candidate to do my first ever fuel injection swap. Now, normally I like the old carbureted stuff, but you know, when we're getting 2 to 4 miles per gallon, there's just got to be a better way. Fuel injection is going to help with that. Obviously, this 440 is going to be thirsty regardless, so maybe we'll look into a gear vendor's overdrive for it so we can cruise at highway speeds and not be running at 3,500 RPMs, which is about redline for a 440. But those parts are on order, so I will be doing that in another episode. So make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already, and get ready because I'm going to take this thing camping this winter. So gonna go dive into that furnace and get this thing ready to go. It's gonna be fun. Hope you guys join me. Make sure to like, subscribe, click all the buttons, and do the things for the YouTubies. You know, you guys know the drill. And I can't thank you guys enough for watching all these episodes, especially this RV. You guys have really liked it. Has a ton of views, so please make sure to share it around if you enjoyed it. Appreciate all you guys. God bless you, and we will see you in the next episode.